Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Unfortunately, today, you won't see me properly because, I'm not at the appropriate place. But anyway, right, we have to conduct this session. So you won't have any difficulties in hearing this presentation, but appearance, my appearance, right, will be, somewhat, disturbed. But anyway, right, could you tell me, this is our third session, right? We were discussing employment relationship. Could anyone, can anybody tell me that what is the last note that you have taken? Hello? I'm asking you, right? Kindly, could you refer for the notes that you have taken? So don't waste time, please. We were discussing employment relationship, right? And yes,
or precondition or enabling environment of effective
sorry.
precondition or
Hmm.
enabling environment of effective
Effective what, right?
social dialogue.
Right. Social dialogue, right? We were discussing that part. Oh, the employment relationship, right? Could you please, refer to the previous, uh, let me check, right? Let me check. I think I completed the social dialogue part. Let me check, right? You have to give me 3-4 minutes. The first lesson was industry relation, and then, right, in order to, right, yeah, we discuss workplace cooperation and social dialogue, right, in order to maintain what do you call this sound industrial relation, right? Did we discuss the social dialogue? What is social dialogue and, decent work agenda of the ILO? Kisani, please, could you refer to the previous slide, previous note?
Precondition or enabling environment of effective social dialogue
Okay, precondition
or enabling environment of effective social dialogue.
Okay, right. Precondition for effective social dialogue or enabling environment for social dialogue, right?
Yes, sir.
So what you have taken, what you have noted down?
4 points, sir. Freedom of association and collective bargaining.
Okay, right. Got it. Right. Freedom of, these are the preconditions for effective social dialogue. Oh, enabling environment for effective social dialogue. Right. These are the preconditions for effective social dialogue. In other, in other terms, other term, you can say it, right? Or otherwise, enabling environment for effective social dialogue, right? One is freedom of association and collective bargaining. What do you mean by freedom of association? Ladies and gentlemen, if we do not have, as workers, if we do not have a right to freely join organizations, trade union, right? And establish trade union and protection against anti-union discrimination, right? We can't say that, right? We have an enabling environment for, effective social dialogue. Effective social dialogue for what? To maintain sound industrial relation, right? Effective social dialogue is exclusively for what? To maintain sound industrial relation, right? Number two is strong independent workers and employers organization, right? This is, if we do not have, uh, non-political bias, independent trade union or independent organizations of workers as well as employers. Employers also have organizations. So we need to create an environment where workers and employers can get together and discuss their problems and, independently, right? Without having any bypass from someone else. Okay. The third one is appropriate institutional support. What does it mean? We need to have legal provisions, legislation, good administration, from the Labor Department point of view, and dispute prevention and settlement mechanism, right? We need to have. Otherwise, we can't say that we have enabling environment or good environment to promote industrial relation. If there is no good industrial relation or sound industrial relation, what will happen? What will happen? Always problem at workplaces, right? Production process will be disturbed. Labor rights will not be protected, right? No mutual understanding. So therefore, in order to have sound industrial or good industrial relation, good rapport, good interaction between employers and workers, we can, as much as possible, we should create social dialogue. Social dialogue is nothing but interaction between the workers and the employers. So in order to provide such an environment, we need to have preconditions, right? So I have already discussed three. Number four is political will and commitment to engage in social dialogue. If government do not recognize the importance of social dialogue or workplace cooperation, then we can't have what you call good or sound industrial relation. Okay? Are you getting my point? You have to engage with me, ladies and gentlemen. Huh? Right. What do we mean by, let's discuss one by one. What do we mean by freedom of association? What does it mean? Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, social dialogue is built on respect for and implementation of freedom of association, right? The first and foremost Palamuemma, right? Social dialogue is built on respect for and implementation of freedom of association. Freedom of association is multifaceted concept and includes the right of workers and employers to join, to form and join organizations of their own choosing. Right? This is what ILO says. And to do so without prior authorization. කාගෙන්වත් අවසරයක් ඕනේ නැහැ. And the free functioning of those organizations, the right to elect representative in full freedom. If we have these conditions, we can say that there is an freedom of association, which leads to create social dialogue, which leads to promote social dialogue, right? In turn, to establish sound industrial relation. Are you getting what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, right? What is important for us to boost economic growth or production to maintain a smooth functioning of the production process? We need to have better understanding between workers and the management. That is what we mean sound industrial relation. Production process should be implemented or carried on without any interference. But in practical world, in practice, in reality, there are disputes in organizations, factories, workplaces, right? Disputes between workers and the management. If there are such disputes, we can't, right, maintain sound industrial relation, meaning that always problem. It's like, assume that, right, at your house, if your mother and father fight always, there is no equilibrium, there is no peace, then it will affect to the smooth functioning of the family. If sisters and brothers and, all family members are fighting each other, you can't have what you call the good, the peaceful family life. As you know, the organization also as such, if organization have always problems, fight with management and the workers, that organization cannot be functioned smoothly. So in order to have a peaceful family life, what do you want to have? What do you should do? You should discuss, right? Always, instead of fighting, mother, father, sisters, brothers, and the family members sit down and discuss, right? There are differences. People have different opinion. People have different ideas. Even the family members, right? Brother and sister, right? Who were born from one, the mother's womb, right? They are different. So in order to have peaceful life, peaceful family, we have to discuss. We have to listen to each other, right? And discussion or dialogue is the most appropriate, the mechanism to settle dispute and maintain peaceful life. The same principle can be applied to organization as well. If the management and the workers of an organization have different opinion, and if they are fighting with each other, right, always, so we can't have good productivity, right? We can't maintain the production process, right? Workers also will be deprived, because if production process will be disturbed, right, what they are earning also, the earning capacity of the people will decline. So it will affect to the earning of the people and then the family life as well, right? Well-being. So therefore, what we need is, without, you know, disturb, disturbance, we should maintain the production process, the business process of an organization, whether it is, the shop or office or factory, whatever it is, right? We should maintain this, the peace. So in order to maintain peace, meaning that, the sound industry in the understanding between each other, we can promote social dialogue, the discussion, interaction. So instead of fighting, why can't we have discussion, dialogue, listening to each other, right? Accepting the different ideas and try to find amicable solution. That is what we mean social dialogue. Okay? Do you understand? Ayodhya, do you understand? Are you listening to me or just, the lock and doing something else? Do you understand what I'm saying, or do you want me to explain further? Dilani or Dilhani, sorry. Aru, yes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You have to engage, right? If you are not engaging, I don't believe, right? You are a good, 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 what do you call, I can't say student, but in order to understand, you get proper knowledge, you have to raise questions, you have to discuss, you have to, respond. Okay, right. Freedom of association, right? First and foremost, social dialogue is built on respect for each other and respect for and implementation of freedom of association, right? Okay, right. Number one, right? Freedom of association subtopic. Take your note. Freedom of, we discuss 4 points as preconditions, right? For effective social dialogue. Number one, freedom of association.
Can't see the presentation.
You can't see the presentation.
Yes, sir. The control test we only see.
That's what I said, right? I'm asking, right? That is why, because, unfortunately, I have not taken my, the note, right? Where we have stopped. If I am not mistaken, we have discussed this, right? But somebody was, what do you mean by control test? Did we discuss the control test?
No, sir.
Who was, who said control test? Kisani, did you attend the previous session? This is the third session, right? Did you attend all sessions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So who said control test? Because, the control test is there, right, in my next presentation. But I don't know, right? This is, I don't know whether who said, right? If she has attended to my previous, right? No, sorry. Right. Sorry. I have shared something else, right? Okay. Very sorry. Okay. Right. Now, is it clear? Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Yeah, because after this presentation, I will go to next one, right? The control test is there in my next presentation. But unfortunately, I have shared that part. Right? It is my mistake. I'm really sorry about that. Okay, number 1, freedom of association. Take your note. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to raise question. I am repeatedly saying this subject cannot be equalized to other subjects that you are learning under HRM, right? The HRM, HRD, right? Organizational behavior, planning, staffing, all these are, the textbook ideas. Textbook ideas. You can have the precise, the textbooks answers, but here what we are learning is law. Law is law, right? We can't have our own definition. We have to learn what law says. Okay? These are not big, the big paragraphs. Law is very precise. The one sentence, two sentence. Law has been passed by, yes, law has been passed by legislation is passed by whom? No response. Law or legislation is enacted or passed by legislature. Legislature. Who is legislature? Yes. Who is legislature? Suresh?
I have no idea.
Oh my God, right? I told you at the beginning. Law is where law is enacted. Ande නෙමෙයිනේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුව. Legislature means vyavasthadayake. That is parliament. Every and each piece of legislation are passed by, enacted by parliament. Okay? Understand?
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. What are the subjects that you have, right? Other subjects except, the industrial law? What are the other subjects? Hey, you have to, discuss with me, right? Engage with me. What are the other subjects? Kisani, what are the other subjects that you are learning under HRM diploma?
Business management
Hmm.
and HR.
Human resource.
Human
Management.
resource.
Right. So, do you have any legislation in relation to business human resource management and what you said, the other subject? Do you have any legislation?
No, sir.
No. The only legislation that you are learning is industrial law. These are not my ideas. These are not my, the background, these basic informations are, I have taken from the ILO convention. But, when we were discussing, when we are going to discuss, when we will be discussing, Industrial Dispute Act, there are 16 acts. Those are passed by the legislations or statutes passed by the parliament. Those are not textbook ideas. Okay, that is the difference. You have to understand. Okay, law is law. You and me, we can't change what law says. Okay, if there is ambiguity, the court system, Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal will interpret it. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, one is freedom of association, right? Take your note. First and foremost, social dialogue is built on respect for and implementation of freedom of association. Second bullet form or next para. Freedom of association is a freedom of association. සමාගමේ නිදහස, රැස්වීමේ නිදහස, වෘත්තීය අරගලවල යෙදීමේ නිදහස. ඒක තමයි මේ කියන්නේ. Freedom of association is a multifaceted, multi-dash, F-A-C-E-T-E-D, faceted concept and includes number one, the right of workers and employers to form and join organizations of their own choosing. ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ නිදහසේ කැමැත්තෙන් තමන්ට කැමති right සංගමයක් සමාගමයක් වෘත්තීය සමිතියක් හදාගන්නත් ඒවට බැඳෙන්නත් නිදහස තිබිය යුතුයි කියන එකයි ඒ කියන්නේ. Number 2, right, sorry, not number 2, continue, right, their own choosing, don't put the full stop, the right of workers and employers to form and join the organization of their own choosing without, don't put the full stop, continue, without prior authorization. කාගේවත් පූර්ව අවසරයක් නැතිව, without prior authorization. Number 2,
Excuse me, sir.
yes, Suresh.
What does mean by multifaceted concepts?
Multifaceted means, you know, not only one aspect, many aspects. One is multifaceted means, okay, let me put in this way, right? Bahu මානයන්, bahu කාරණා කියන එක, right? Multifaceted means, right, they should have the freedom to join, form their trade union. That is one aspect. and join on their join trade union, and no prior authorization is required, right? And free functioning of organizations, right? They have the authority to elect their representatives. This is the multifaceted. Okay, this is the this is what we mean by multifaceted. Okay,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
right. Number two, free functioning of those organizations. Free functioning of those organizations. Number three, right to elect. Right to elect. Right to elect representative in full freedom. Right to elect representative in full freedom. There are plenty. That is why we say multifaceted, but we don't need to write everything. The next one, right to strike. Right to strike. Right to strike. Then right to collective bargaining. Right to bargain collectively. Right to bargain collectively. We have plenty, right? When we talk about freedom of association, there are number of aspects. That is why say freedom of, that is why we say freedom of association, the concept of freedom of association is multifaceted, meaning that it includes many things, right? Right to organize, right to join, right to strike, right to elect their representative, right to bargain collectively. That is why, we say it is multifaceted. Okay. So then number two, right? You say, strong independent workers and employers organization means, right? It is, we can say democratic foundation, right? Number two, the second one, strong independent workers and employers organization means, democratic foundation. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, the social dialogue needs democratic foundation. You know the democracy, Prajatantravadi Padanamak ඕනේ. Right? Social dialogue can provide an effective mechanism for participation, which is essential for democratic governance, meaning that discussion is democratic, right? Instead of fighting, right? දියව් අපිට දියව් කියලා කෑ ගහලා යනවට වඩා පාරේ barrier දාලා, the blocking the roads and, the destroying the property and everything, right? It, when you are destroying property, the damaging public property or private property, right? Demanding which cannot be fulfilled, right? You can't get anything. Instead, you can discuss. Any party can discuss with the other relevant party and come to an amicable solution, right? So that is how we should solve problem, destroying property and public and private property, right? And disturbing the life of the general people, the behavior of the general people, right? You can't achieve anything. Look at now, right? If you don't have the fuel, right? What people are doing, right? They are blocking the road. But then how the other general people are traveling? It is violating their action is violating the rights of the other people in the country. So is this democracy? Is that democracy? No. You have democracy, yes, but you can't disturb the lives of other people. The how many people are, yes, we also, I don't have, I'm still right in queue, right, to pump fuel to my vehicle. So I'm delivering, while being in a queue. But I'm not supposed to block the road and disturb the rights of the other people. Are you getting what I'm saying? Hello? You may agree or disagree, but this is my view. Hello? Right. It doesn't mean that, I'm against to the people who are protesting in gold pays and no, right? I'm in favor of them, but you are not supposed to disturb the rights of the other people, right? If you do not have gas, yes, I'm also have been right in queue, but I'm not supposed to block the road, right, and disturb other, the rights of the other people. Okay, what do you think? Fatima, what do you think? Nobody is responding, right? Maybe, okay, anyway. Kavisa? Okay, right. Number 2, democratic foundation. Right. First bullet. Social dialogue needs democratic foundations. Bullet number 2. Social dialogue can provide an effective mechanism, of participation. Which is essential for democratic governance. Democratic governance. In today's context, in order to prevent the economic and social and political instability, right, in the country, we have to get idea. We have to get them on board. These, the young people, those who are protesting. We should, right, hear their voice. But at the same time, they also must understand that, right, we should not demand what we cannot fulfill. Whatever possible, right? Go home. I don't know, right? He is not going, right? Technically and theoretically and the constitutionally, right? It is not possible. So then we have to have kind of a mechanism, right? The strategy, right? To to democratically remove him. Otherwise, it is not possible. So that is why dialogue, and discussion is required. Okay. Bullet number 2. Social dialogue. Bullet number 2. Have we taken what is the bullet number 2? Only 1 or 2, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
2.
Two, what is the what is the two? Two, have you taken note or not?
Yes, sir. Social dialogue
Okay,
can
okay,
promote
right, I got it. Number three, bullet number three. Through social dialogue, can only flourish, flourish in a democratic society, comma, it can make an important contribution. It can make an important contribution to transition to democracy. Number three, legitimacy. Number three, legitimacy. This is another precondition. You know, effective social dialogue is crucially dependent on the legitimacy of social partners. You know, are we respecting the trade union? Are we respecting the worker organization? Do we have legislation, right, to protect, right, to recognize unions? That is, you know, the kind of a legislative provisions or legitimacy. Okay, legitimacy through representative, transparent, and accountable, and cohesive workers and employers, apostrophe S, right, organizations, right, is very, very important. Legitimacy through not only just legitimacy, but legitimacy through representative of workers and employers. Transparent, should be transparent and accountable. You know, today in our society, right, there is no accountability. President, prime ministers, and you know, and member of parliament and the ministers and senior government, they are not accountable. They are not taking it seriously. So that is why, you know, the country has fallen into this situation. So everybody must have their, you know, the accountability. Okay, right. First bullet, legitimacy through representative, comma, transparent, comma, accountable and cohesive, accountable and cohesive, cohesive, workers, apostrophe S, workers, after that, apostrophe, and employers, organizations. Next bullet form. Ladies and gentlemen, still we are not studying labor law. Huh? This is the background for labor law. Background in the sense, you know, labor laws have been enacted in order to promote industrial relation and protect labor rights. Okay, labor laws have been enacted. Just, you know, we have enacted so far, right, after independence, around 50 legislations, labor legislations, all legislations have been enacted to promote industrial relation and to protect the rights of the working people. So what we are still studying is, the importance of industrial relation. How do we promote industrial relation? One aspect is promoting social dialogue. Through the promotion of social dialogue, we can promote, we can have sound industrial relation. That is what we are discussing, the background. Okay. Okay. Bullet number 2. So effective social dialogue is critically dependent on the legitimacy of the social partners. සමාජ කතිකාවත, right? තීරණාත්මක වශයෙන්, right? ඩිපෙන්ඩ් වෙන්නේ නැත්නම් පදනම් වෙන්නේ සමාජ කොටස්කරුවන්ගේ ලෙජිටිමසි, ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන නීත්‍යානුකූල භාවය, ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන නීත්‍යානුකූල පිළිගැනීමත් එක්ක. right? Bullet number 3. Workers, S වලට පස්සේ apostrophe. Workers and employers, S වලට පස්සේ apostrophe. Need to be representative and reflect the interest of their members. Representative and meaning that, the trade union members, right? Members of the management, they must represent, say for example, trade union leaders, they must represent their workers. If they are not representing workers, right, and reflecting the interest of the people, right, nothing will happen. Just like, the members appointed from the national list, they are not representative. National list selected people, right? They are not representative to the parliament. Okay, it is no harm, right, if we can select the very good people who have substantial knowledge on, subject knowledge on economics, political law, right? It's okay. But they must reflect the pulse of the working people, the general public of this country. But they are not. Likewise, the trade union leaders must represent their members and their interest of the members. Okay, that is what it says. Number 4, bullet number 4, policy making and decision making. Policy making and decision making should be transparent. Okay, number 4, right? The environment. Now, number 4, political will and number 4, political will and commitment to engage in social dialogue by all parties. Right. right? Under this, you know, all partners, there are social partners of workers, management, government, right? All partners must be respected, right? All partners must be respected. ඒගොල්ලෝ respect කරන්න ඕනේ. High level of trust. ඉහළ මට්ටමේ විශ්වාසයක් ගොඩනගන්න ඕනේ. Right? Acceptance of independence. ස්වාධීනභාවය අපි පිළිගන්න ඕනේ. Flexibility. ඒ කියන්නේ නම්‍යශීලීභාවය තියෙන්න ඕන. Search for wider consensus. පළල් ඒකාග්‍රතාවයක්, එකඟතාවයක්, right? සොයා යන්න ඕනේ. And the commitment. අපි එකිනෙකාට බැඳී සිටින්න ඕන. Right? What do you mean by group work? It's an individual commitment to group effort or social effort. Individual commitment. We all have individual commitment, right? Towards the achievement of common goal. Fatima, is it clear to you? I can't hear you. I don't know. Look at your microphone.
Yes, sir. I think
Okay.
problem in recording audio.
Right. I mean, can't you hear what I'm saying?
I can hear, but sometimes when I'm talking, you can't hear that.
Okay, right. But if you can hear me, that is okay, right? If it
Okay,
is
sir.
clear, what I'm trying to explain is clear, that is more than enough, right? More than enough.
Okay.
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 Right. Number 4, right? First bullet. All partners must be respected. First bullet. All partners must be respected. Bullet number 2. High level of trust. High level of trust. Next, bullet number 3, acceptance of interdependence. Interdependence. Antar sambandhathawe. Acceptance of interdependence. අපි පිළිගන්න ඕන අන්තර් සම්බන්ධතාවය. Next bullet form, flexibility. Next, search for wider consensus. පළල් එකඟතාවයක් සොයා යන්න ඕනේ. And last but not least, commitment. You don't need to write this. Capacity to deliver means successful social dialogue produces result in some countries in the form of social pact or agreement, right? Signed by the negotiating parties. Sri Lanka also, we had, this social pact program. Small number of narrowly focused. Okay, then different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. We will look at the different, right. So far, we have discussed, the continuously 1 hour, right? I'm going to have a not 15 minutes break, right? 7 to 8 minute break or maximum 10 minutes break up to 9-10, right? Before I move to, the next topic, I mean, the same presentation, but the different topic, different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. Okay, 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, do you hear me? Right? We are going to have a 10 minutes break. Okay. 9, 10, 10 past 9, you are supposed to be with me. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, shall we start? We will be having another, the 5 minutes break later. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You know where I am? I'm in this petrol queue and, no petrol, right? Long queue. I'm parking my car and delivering this session. Right. So what to do? This is the reality. I don't know, right? In coming days, we have to face, to more difficult situation, right? Okay. Next subtopic, ladies and gentlemen, different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. Take your note. Different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. Different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. I'm repeatedly saying, don't miss my lesson, right? In coming sessions, exclusively subject matters. The labor law will be discussed. Those subject matters are very important, not only for workers, but also for managerial, those who are holding managerial positions as well. Microphone off karanna, right? Different forms of social dialogue at enterprise level. Okay. So, what are the forms of social dialogue? One is, ladies and gentlemen, encourage worker suggestions. If you are a manager in an organization, you must encourage worker to make their own suggestions, because remember that CEOs, the managers, top level people, they are not engaging with real task. The floor level people, they are the one who engage with real task. So they face, when they are performing their task, they face many problems, right? Those who are, the managerial, holding managerial positions, including CEO, they are in AC rooms, right? They, they are taking decision, looking at the papers. But your low level people, machine operators, other, the people, the really, the working people, they are facing the most number of problems, significant number of problems when they are engaging in their day-to-day activities. So let them to suggest the problems they face, the solutions that they can give. So encourage workers to make their suggestions. That is one forms of social dialogue. And publish newsletters, right? Ask your low-level people not to, by way of, to express their views, right? By way of, articles, by way of poems, by way of, lyrics, whatever it is, right? Let the people to express their feelings. That is how you have to, when you are studying, the HRM, human resource management. So when you are doing so, right, managing human resource, you have to listen to people. You have to allow your people to express their feelings. So newsletters, right, and notice boards, provide notice boards, right, to have widespread communication. and start welfare schemes. Welfare schemes, right? Maradara Samiti, Ara Samiti, Me Samiti, right? So then people feel that, the low level people feel that the management is looking after their problems. That is how Natuwa Kevita Karang, right? I have noticed, right, during my tenure, more than 20 years in the field of labor, including the Commissioner General of Labor, I have observed most of the problems, right, in big companies, right, have been created by the management, not by workers. Yes, there are, the trade unions who create problems, trade unions are creating problems, but, right, in some, significant occasions, I have noticed that management creates problems, right? The manager, HR people, they must need to take a stick, but you can't manage people by punishing them. You have to listen to them. You have to allow these people to talk. You have to allow these people to, express, explore their views. Most the organization in which, sorry to say this is my experience. The organizations, right, in which HR matters are handled by retired army, three forces people. They always think that people people should be punished. In order to manage people, punishment is the most appropriate, but I totally ignore it. I totally reject it. You can't manage people, right, by forcing them to do so. Do whatever you want. Punishing people, you can't achieve whatever you want. Instead, right, start certain things, discuss with the people. Go even, being, right, as the Commissioner General of Labor in the Labor Department, at least once a week, I used to go to the each and every branches, particularly to the EPF branch. People are in the queue, in the queue to hand over their EPF. I talk to them. I used to talk to them. I ask their problems, how long they have been waiting, right? And I discuss with my people, yes, what is your problem, right? Why can't you expedite this process? So this kind of approach is must. We need, right? Otherwise, we can't have great achievement, okay? And grievance handling procedure. We need to have grievance handling procedure. Some people sometimes in factories, right, look at, when you observe, right, the attendance, right, if you have, some kind of a mechanism to monitor their attendance, right, you may see that, the one person or couple of persons, their attendance is varying, right? Going down and going up and going down is varying. So you have to analyze this. Talk to these people. They may be having certain problems at home, at society. So it is your duty as HR people to talk to these people and start or implement appropriate grievance handling procedure. Okay. Are you getting what I'm saying? Do you understand what I say? Ayodhya, do you understand? No response. Suresh?
Yes, sir, I understood.
Right. Kavisha?
Yes, sir.
Kisani,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Mohammed.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can we have a PDF version of these presentations?
This presentation, just after, this one is once I finish this presentation, I will send to the, what do you call the LPEC. LPEC will, upload it to the, the LMS, right? Everything will be there.
So the problem is, last two sessions also still they didn't
No,
have.
last two sessions in the sense, the previous session, I don't know whether whether why they have not. The first one is introduction to industrial relation. This is the, second session and the third session, right? So once today I'm going to finish this, and then once I finish this, this will be uploaded. I mean, I will send to the LPEC and they will upload, right? And you go to the YouTube and search LPEC presentation. Everything is there.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Everything is there. Right. Okay. Forms of social dialogue. Number one, right? The subtopic, forms of social dialogue. Forms. Akara, vidhi. Forms of social dialogue. Subtopic, forms of social dialogue. SD means social dialogue. Ayodhya, you are not responding. Huh? I don't know whether you are actively participating. Desani, Tilakasiri. What about you? No, these people, Mohammed, Mohammed and Johan. Okay, right. You are trying to respond. Okay. Right. Forms of social. Number one, encourage worker suggestions. I'm not going to, give all notes, but, in short, encourage worker suggestions. What are your worker suggestions? The workers are encouraged to make suggestions on making workplace efficiency. Various methods are used. Some organizations reward workers for their suggestions, right? Those who are making good suggestions are being rewarded. Number one, encourage worker suggestions. Number two, publish newsletters. Publish newsletters. Number two, publish newsletters. This is a popular media of communication, right? Newsletters are used to create awareness among the workers and also accommodate their views. This form is used to motivate the workers. Money is not the only, right, in HRM or HRD, human resource development, right? You will be hearing that money is one aspect of motivating people, but, right, listening to them, right, allowing them to talk, right, allowing, appreciating their ideas. These are the, the other methods of motivating people which are more effective than the money. I'm still asking our Ayodhya, are you listening, lady? Disanayaka. No. Okay, right. Newsletters. And third one, notice boards. Notice boards. And then next, welfare schemes. Welfare schemes. And next, grievance handling procedure. And next, small group activities. Small group activities like, you know, these are very effective: quality circles, productivity committee, 5S committees. These are also the forms of, you know, the one form of social dialogue, forms of social dialogue. Okay. These are very effective. Angelina, Kesani, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. What about Sachini Pereira?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Good. And forms of social dialogue. For example, in export processing zones, right, we can have joint consultative committees and employees council. Employees council is already, councils are already there, right? Now, next. The negotiation is the most developed process of social dialogue, ladies and gentlemen, right? So this is important because there will be a question from this part, right? There will be a question, right, in your examination. Negotiation is the most developed process of social dialogue, right? Take your note first, right? Negotiation as negotiation as the process of social dialogue. Subtopic: negotiation as the process of social dialogue. Negotiation, साकाच्चा negotiate करने का is the negotiation as the process of social dialogue. Right. Take your note. Negotiation is the most developed process of social dialogue. Next para. Negotiation is, right? Question will be asked, a small question. What do you mean by negotiation as a process of social dialogue? So negotiation is a process by which negotiation is a process by which two or more parties seek S-double-E-K, seek to exchange their views, exchange with each other, exchange with each other. Or among themselves. Among themselves. Themselves. Among themselves. Things. Deval. That they respectively value. Things. Themselves. Things. That TINGS. Things. That they respectively value. Under terms and conditions. Under terms and conditions. Seva kondesi saha niyamayan. Niyamayan saha kondesi. Terms and conditions. Mutually acceptable. දෙපාර්ශවයටම පිළිගන්න පුළුවන්. Mutually acceptable to all concerned. දෙපාර්ශවයටම පිළිගත හැකි. එහෙනම් මොකද්ද negotiation කියන්නේ? ඒක ක්‍රියාවලියක්. පාටිස් දෙකක් අතර හරි වැඩි ගණනක් හරි අතර හරි ඒගොල්ලෝ අතර සිදුවන right ඒගොල්ලෝ value කරන right respectively value කරන සේවා නියම සහ කොන්දේසි සම්බන්ධයෙන් පිළිගත හැකි තැනකට එන්න කරන මොනවා කිරීමද exchange එක අදහස් වමාරු කරගෙන right so next para.
Excuse me, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, can you repeat it?
Negotiation is a process by which two or more parties seek to exchange. You can put exchange their views, right? Exchange their views with each other. With each other. Or among themselves. Or matara. Right? Things මොනවා සම්බන්ධයෙන්ද that they respectively value. Respectively value under terms and conditions of employment. Under terms and conditions of employment. Under terms and conditions of employment. Mutually acceptable. Mutually acceptable to all concerned. To all concerned. Full stop.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
According to this definitions,
Hmm.
what does mean by more parties rather than employee and employer?
You know, do you remember that we at the beginning we discussed at the initial stage when we talk about at the initial stage social dialogue is that exchanging the ideas between or views between employer and workers, right? Employer and the employees. But you remember that we said the government also can intervene in order to facilitate. So more means employer, employee, government. In Sri Lanka, only, when we are having social dialogue, we have the labor department, right? Labor ministry, we have social dialogue forum, which is called it is called NLAC, National Labor Advisory Committee. That is the national level social dialogue forum. It's a tripartite, which is apex body to advise the Honorable Minister, to discuss and advise the Honorable Minister of Labor, right, with regard to labor policies, right? I was the secretary for 7 years, right? And in that forum, right? I was the secretary and preparing minutes and, the discussing, taking notes and, distributing and writing reports and everything. I was doing it. So that is more parties means more than worker and employee, worker and employers, right? In Sri Lanka, more parties means workers, employers, and the government. In some other countries, for example, South Africa, right? They have social dialogue forum, right? It is represented by national level, represented by worker unions, employer unions. Employer unions also have, we also have employers unions in Sri Lanka, right? We have two employer registered unions. Apart from that, we have chambers and, many employer organizations. In South Africa, employer organizations, worker organizations, government, and the NGOs, non-governmental organizations. So more parties. Okay, is it clear, Suresh?
Yes, sir, clear.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Right. So, I mean, the social dialogue, not like our country, in our country, most of the develop, particularly in South Africa, it's a very good process, right? I have studied their system. I have been there in Pretoria and Johannesburg, right, for 10 days. And I studied and I was looking at, how they settle industrial dispute, right? Even, under, our labor department, they are taking, more than 5-6 months to settle industrial dispute. But in South Africa, right, we call it NEDLAC, right? NEDLAC takes only maximum 2 months to settle industrial dispute. I have seen my own eyes, right? So I introduce certain things. If you go to labor department right now, right, in order to what do you call the complaint, a dispute, right? I introduce a what do you call the 1.5 pages, 2 pages format, right? Including everything, it's a comprehensive, but the only 2 pages, right? Just even it can be downloaded. I don't know whether it is operated, it is being implemented right now or not, but during my time, right, I introduced that one because, the one, there are 40 assistant commissioner's office, district office, and 17 sub office, and 10 engineering office. They were using different format. So I, based on my experience I got from the South African visit, I introduced the one format, right? It was the computerized, right? At, the latter part of my, my career as the Commissioner General of Labor, but I don't know whether it is being implemented right now or not, right? What we need is simplify the process, right? Simplification of the process, right? So I don't know, but instead නැත්තම් වෙන්නේ ජාතක කතා ලියනවා, right? මිනිස්සු when people try to make a complaint, right, they will ask to submit it in writing. They write the long stories like ජාතක කතා, right? Instead, so then it is very difficult for us to read that jataka kata. So therefore we introduce very simple format which includes everything, right? Every, the important aspect, important information together, important information. I don't know whether that is used right now or not, right? Okay, right. Now next para, right? The negotiation may or may not, the negotiation may or may not lead to an agreement, lead to an agreement, lead to an agreement, lead to an agreement. Full stop. However, it involves decision making. It involves decision making by the parties. by the parties. Comma, jointly and on their own ORO facilitated by a third person or third party, facilitated by a third person. If they come to an agreement. If they come to an agreement. Right. Next subtopic, collective bargaining as the mode of social dialogue. The mode of social dialogue. Right. Okay. What does it mean? Right. First, take your note, then I will explain to you. First para, collective bargaining, CB, right? Within bracket CB, C capital, B capital, collective bargaining. Is a special type of negotiation, special type of negotiation, special type of negotiation, special type of negotiation governed by law. Governed by law. Right. Next para. Collective bargaining is a process. Collective bargaining is a process of negotiation. Of negotiation. Of negotiation between employer and the workers. Workers stroke trade unions. Employer and workers stroke trade union. Facilitated by the government. Facilitated by the government. Within bracket, if required, and then close the bracket. Andu sambandha වෙන්නේ අවශ්‍ය නම් විතරයි. If required, close the bracket. with regard to terms and conditions of employment with regard to terms and conditions of employment. With regard to terms and conditions of employment. Terms and conditions of employment. In order to grant, in order to provide, not grant, in order to provide. Favorable benefits. Favorable benefits to the workers. Favorable benefits to the workers. Next para. Next para. Collective agreement is, there are two conditions, two terms, collective bargaining and collective agreement. Collective agreement is, what we said is the collective agreement. And next para, collective bargaining, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Can you repeat from that favorable benefits of the
Favorable benefits to the workers. We have to ask, is it clear? Or, shall we ask? Because, there is no, slide, I just, convert, the, Angelina Jolie name. Angelina, is it clear?
Yes, everything is clear.
Right.
Thank you.
Sorry, right? Just joking, right? Angelina Jolie, right? It's a famous.
No problem, sir.
my favorite actress. Right. Okay. So the collective, next para, the collective agreement is the result of collective bargaining. Collective bargaining. Right. Once the collective bargaining process is successful, once the collective bargaining process is successful, workers and employer sign an agreement on agreed on agreed terms and conditions of employment for a couple of years. Within bracket, generally for 2 years. For a couple of years, within bracket, generally for 2 years. And send it to the Labor Department. And send it to the Labor Department. And send it to the Labor Department to check the legality. To check the legality. To check the legality. Nithimaya Valanguba. Legal or legal validity or legality, right? Nithimaya Valanguba, legality of the agreement. Full stop. Then, ladies and gentlemen, if Labor Department is satisfied with the terms and conditions stipulated in the agreement, then the Labor Department, the Commissioner General, will gazette it. Once it is gazetted, it becomes a legal document. No one is supposed to violate the terms and conditions stipulated in that agreement. Right? ඒක කඩ කිරීම නීත්‍යානුකූල වරදක්. උසාවියට අරන් ගිහලා දඬුවම් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Is it clear? Okay, right. Take your note, right? Final note. Full stop. If Labor Department is satisfied, if Labor Department is satisfied, if Labor Department is satisfied with the terms and conditions stipulated in the agreement, the agreement is gazetted by the Commissioner General of Labor. The agreement is gazetted by the Commissioner General of Labor. Right? Once it is full stop, once it is gazetted, it becomes the law. It becomes the law. And right, no party to the agreement, is supposed to violate the provisions stipulated in the stipulated provisions in the stipulated provisions in the what I said, no party. Can somebody read the sentence? I don't remember now. Someone has to read the sentence. Hello? Someone has to read the sentence, because, I don't have any document. Just I'm, using my memory, and I just giving, the note. What I said. My God. Harsani. Can somebody tell me the last sentence? Do you hear me or not? Oh my God. Sajini, can you read Angelina? Can you read the sentence? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you, right? I need to know what I said, because, I don't have any precise, note. Just, I'm using my memory, and I am explaining to you. So when I'm giving notes, right, I'm just, the modifying my presentation and giving you notes. That is why I'm asking, if I just, the forget something, right, you have to tell me, right, what you have taken, what you have written down, right, the last 10 sentence. That's what I'm asking. Are you with me? My God. Arosa? Nobody. Yes, Fatima, could you please tell me, what is the last note?
This one.
Yeah, I just, forget what I said, right?
Lab
Sorry?
labor marker policy.
No, no. I said you, right? What I said, right? With regard to, the no one, I was explaining the collective agreement, right? No one is supposed to violate or something like that. I just need to know what I said. What you have, look at your note. Hey, my God. What is the last note? Read me the last note that you have taken?
Sir,
Yes.
if the Labor Department is satisfied with the terms and conditions
Yes.
in the agreement is gazetted by
The agreement will be gazetted by the Commissioner General of Labor. Right? So that's what I'm asking. You know, how many times do I need to ask this? Right. Commissioner General. So then, you know, I said something else, Angelina, right? Is that, you know, did I say something else?
No, sir, myself also didn't have anything because the connection.
Okay. Okay, right.
I'm in
The Labor Department, you know, the Commissioner General should gazette it. Once it is gazetted, it becomes law. It becomes law. Once it is gazetted, it becomes law, and no party is supposed to violate, and no party is supposed to violate. No party is supposed to violate the provisions of that agreement during the validity period of agreement. So I would like to draw your attention, ladies and gentlemen, right? You may be having some difficulties, the connection, electricity. I am delivering this lecture. You remember, you know, understand. Being in the petrol queue, there is no petrol. The petrol, you know, the shed has been closed, but expecting, right? Maybe tomorrow morning, I don't know, right? I'm like being in, you know, in the queue, right? It's not moving for more than 4 hours, right? Not 4 hours, 3 hours so far. So I'm delivering so understand my situation as well, right? I'm trying to give you the precise knowledge. You maybe think that, you know, I'm oversizing myself, but I'm telling you, I'm the only person who knows this subject A to Z, right, in this country, right? Being in the labor field more than 23 years and dealing with the ILO conventions, right, more than 7 years, and being as the commissioner, head of the labor department, as more than 4 years. I know this one. I want to give you the precise knowledge, right? So if I do not take the opportunity to deliver a lecture in the LPEC, I have plenty of opportunities. There are some other organizations, but I like to deliver, you know, the work with the LPEC because I have some other connections. It is up to you to raise questions. If you are a working people, or, you know, if you are not, whatever it is, raise questions, because this subject is so අපි කියන්නේ පඹගාලක් කියලා. පඹගාලක් වගේ. It's very, it's not, you know, you can't understand it very clearly. In order to understand it, you have to raise questions. The problems you faced, the problems you heard from your partner, you know, the friends and, you know, some other, you know, your parents or mothers, those who are working in the private sector. You have to raise questions. I can't tell everything because this is, you can't imagine. It's like ocean. This subject is like, it's like ocean. It's very, very, you know, if you raise question, yes, I have an answer, but I cannot give you everything. I cannot give you everything because the law, you know, when we go to court, the different courts stands for different opinion. So I have to discuss those things. It's not like if I am supposed to deliver lecture on HRD, I will look at the very good textbooks and take notes from the textbooks and deliver to you the piece. No one will argue. But labor law is not like that. It's law. It is law. If there is an ambiguity, the court will decide, court will determine, court will interpret what is it. Sometimes we may have different opinion, but we have to accept what court says. Okay, therefore, in order to give you, I'm trying to give you better understanding, but if you are not supporting me, I can't give you everything. I'm telling you, there are lawyers, you know, the lecturers, they can deliver labor laws, but when practical question comes into picture, they cannot give the precise answer because they don't know the court decisions. We are following not only the provisions of the labor laws, but also court decisions as well. If there are ambiguities, let me give you one classic example, right? Just I'm trying to, okay, right. Tell me, okay, Angelina, are you working somewhere? Are you working somewhere?
No,
Yes.
sir. No, sir. I'm finished with my O levels and
Okay, very, very. මගේ දුවටත් වඩා බාලයිනේ. මගේ දුවලත් බඳින වයසේ නීටත් වඩා බාලයි. හරි. Okay. Arosh. Arosha. Kavisa, are you working? Tell me anybody who is working in the private sector. Nobody. Nisansala. Nisansala, are you working? Suresh, are you working?
Yes, sir, I'm working in a private sector.
Okay, right. So tell me, right? You are working in the private sector. How many workers are there, you know, in your organization?
Approximately 300.
How many? කී දෙනෙක් ඔයාගේ ආයතනයේ වැඩ
There
කරනවද ඔක්කොම දැනට?
there are 300 employees.
මම මේ යමක් තේරුම් කරලා දෙන්න අහන්නේ. මට හරියටම ගාන කිව්වේ නැතුණත් කමක් නැහැ.
300.
Okay, 300. How many years do you have as, you know, how many years, how long have you been there in, you know, in that organization?
I have been working there 15 years.
Then you know that you are entitled for gratuity, right? When you retire, or
Yes,
when you breach your contract of employment. So assumes that you will be appointed assumes that your company has a foreign branch and you will be appointed to that foreign branch, right, from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow is 18th of May 2020. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right. And say the branch is in USA, and you will be given consolidated salary, right? Even including, the basic and everything, consolidated salary, 7,000 US dollars per month. Okay,
Okay.
assumes that 7,000, Anita make a hagan, 7,000 US dollars. Now, right from tomorrow onwards, after 2 years, you will be recalled. You will be recalled after 2 years,
Yes.
right? Then you will be recalled and offer a higher position for a certain salary. Say, for example, when you leave, your basic salary was, assumes that 250,000, assumes, right? Assumes, right? And then after 2 years back, right, you will be offered a senior position with basic, the basic salary with 300,000. But once you back to Sri Lanka, you refuse to accept that position and you give the resignation. You give the resignation based on the based on the instruction given by the former, the retired labor officer, right? Former labor officer of the labor department. Then what do you expect? You expect to prepare your gratuity for the last drawn salary. Then question arises, what is your last drawn salary? Your argument is, and the advice from the labor department, retired labor department people also, you will get your last drawn salary is 700,000 US dollars that you were that offered to you, right, when you appointed to the US branch. Okay, are you getting my point?
Yes, I am getting.
Right, 700,000 US dollars. Then you just you ignore the request and you send a letter, no, I am going to retire. Then they have to calculate your gratuity and pay the gratuity to you. Then gratuity should be calculated to the last drawn salary. What is the last drawn salary? What is the
7,000
sorry?
US. 7,000 US dollars.
7,000 US dollars. So, right, the same, the same scenario happened to the big company, multinational company in this country. And the labor department gave the decision or order to the company to pay gratuity calculated based on the 7,000 US dollars. It's a billions, I'm telling you, billion. Then the multinational company, I just assume my duties as Commissioner General of Labor. Then my PA, personal assistants, asked me, sir, that multinational company is asking you to, an appointment with you. So what? I gave an appointment. The multinational company, Indian guy, he came, visited me, and he said me, sir, so we have been instructed to pay this amount of money calculated based on the 7,000 US dollars, but this is wrong. Then I investigated everything. It is wrong according to my knowledge. According to my knowledge. And then I could have මට මේ තීරණය වෙනස් කරන්න තිබ්බා. I could have changed this decision. හැබැයි එහෙම change කරාම නම් සුරේෂ් මොකද වෙන්නේ කියන්නකො මට? මොකද වෙන්නේ මට? කවුරු හරි කවන්න කියන්නේ. මොකද වෙන්නේ මට?
ග්‍රැටිවිටි ඇක්ට් එකේ තියෙනවනේ අපි ග්‍රැටිවිටි කැල්කියුලේට් කරනකොට අන්තිමටම ගත්ත සැලරි එක
ඒක නෙමෙයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මේ ඒකටනේ හැදුවේ. හදපු එක මට අනුව වැරදි. මම මේක වැරදි කියලා මට මේක වෙනස් කරන්න තිබ්බා. රයිට්? මොකද ඇපීල් එකක් මට ආවා. මම වාඩි වෙනකොට මට කලින් දීපු තීරණයක්. මං ගිහිල්ලා වාඩි වෙනකොටම පුටුවේ මට ආවා මේකට ඇපීල් එකක්. ඒගොල්ලෝ මාව ඇවිල්ලා හම්බුණා. මම ස්ටඩි කරලා බලනකොට මට අනුව වැරදි. ඇයි කියලා මම පස්සේ කියන්නම්. හරිද? හැබැයි මම මේ වැරද්ද නිවැරදි කරන්න මම මේ ඩිසිෂන් එක චේන්ජ් කරා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ කියන්නකෝ මට. මොකද වෙන්නේ? මම මේ මල්ටිනේෂනල් කම්පැනි එකෙන් බ්‍රයිබරි අරගෙන මේ ඩිසිෂන් එක චේන්ජ් කළා කියලා මට පදයක් ගන්නවා මාධ්‍යයෙන් එහෙම මෙහෙම රයිට් මට මාව නැති කරනවා. මේක තමයි වෙන්නේ. තේරුණා සුරේෂ්?
ඔව් සර්.
මං මේ නිසා කිව්වා ඔයා දැන් හරි කියනවනේ ඕකනේ කියලා මට අනුව ඕක වැරදි. right? According to me it is utterly wrong. right? ඊට පස්සේ මම මේගොල්ලන්ට කිව්වා එහෙම decision එකක් දුන්නාම මං කිව්වා so right I can change this decision but if I change this decision people and the media will tarnish my the reputation and they will make allegations for me saying that I have taken bribe from your company and I have changed this. So therefore, right, former Commissioner General before me, right, she has given a decision. So I'm telling you, advising you, I advise them to go to writ application, court of appeal. ඔගොල්ලෝ දන්නවද සුරේෂ් මීට කලිනුත් ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට court of appeal වලට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා. court of appeal වලදී දීලා තියෙන්නේ labor department එක හරි අර ඇමරිකාවේ තියපු ඒකට තමයි හදන්න ඕනේ කියලා තමයි දීලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ කේස් එකේදී in 2018 justice ඊවා වනසුන්දර දුන්න කන පිට යන්න decision එක. මගේ එකයි මං කියන්නේ මගේ තීරණය හරි කියලා. මගේ තීරණය උනේ ඔයාගේ ලාස්ට් රෝන්සල් කම්පැනි එක ඔයා ඇමරිකාවට යවපු බව ඇත්ත. ඔයාගේ ඇමරිකාවේදී ලැබපු වැටුප රුපියල් ඇමරිකන් ඩොලර් 7000ක් බව ඇත්ත. හැබැයි ඇමරිකන් නීතිය යටතේ ඔයා ආවරණය වෙනකොට ලංකාවේ නීතියෙන් ඔයා ආවරණය වෙන්නේ නැහැ. You are not covered by the Sri Lankan law. So therefore your salary cannot be considered as last drawn salary. My argument was your last drawn salary, right, should be taken as the salary that you were earning before your departure to the USA. ඇමරිකාවට යන්න කලින් ඔයා ලැබපු අන්තිමට ලැබපු වටුප තමයි, right, that is your last drawn salary. That was my argument. Right? That was my argument. So Justice Eva Vanasundara gave the decision exactly what I said. Exactly what I said.
සර්
Because,
එතනදී දැන් යා 2 years US වල වැඩ කරනවානේ.
එතකොට ජීව වනසුන්දර කියන්නේ සුරේෂ් වෙන කතන්දරයක් නෑ. ඔයා USA වලට ගියාම ලංකාවේ නීතියෙන් නෙමෙයි ඔයා ආවරණය වෙන්නේ USA නීතියෙන්. Right? Separate law. Right? You are not covered by, if you are, going to USA, you are not covered by the Sri Lankan law. You are not covered by the Sri Lankan law. You are covered by the US law. US law is not applicable to Sri Lanka. දැන් මෙහෙමයි සුරේෂ් ඔයාටයි මට ආගියු කරන්න පුළුවන් නේ. දැන් මේක තමයි මගේ ආගියුමන්ට් එක. මේ මගේ ආගියුමන්ට් එක හරි කියලා සුප්‍රීම කෝට් එක දුන්නාට පස්සේ ආයි ඔයාටයි මට ආගියු කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? පුළුවන්ද?
Yes, sir.
බෑ. That is it. That is it. එනිසා right ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයා ඇමරිකාවට ලංකාවෙන් last room salary එක කියන්නේ the salary you received before you departure to USA. That is your last known salary. හැබැයි if you accept the position offered by the company and work, then the last known salary is the offered salary. Okay? Suresh, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You can be, transferred or posted in USA or UK or whatever. But the UK, then you are working with, the different legal environment. So Sri Lankan labor law cannot be applied. That was the argument of Justice Eva Vanasundara. Okay? You got my point?
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, දැන් අපි හිතමුකෝ 15 years work කරලා ඉදි තමයි එයා 2 years වල USA යන්නේ කියලා.
Oh.
හරි. එතකොට එතනදී USA legal එක වෙනස් නිසා අපි හිතමුකෝ last down salary එක විතර $7,000 ගන්න බෑ කියලා. එතකොට සෙන් කම්පැනි ඉන්නේ එයාව යවන්නේ USA. එතකොට ඒ 2 years calculate කරනවද අන්තිම gratuity එක?
නෑ එහෙම calculate කරන්න ඒක තමයි කියන්නේ. දැන් ඕක ඉතිහාසයේ පුරාම සිද්ධ වුණේ මේ විදියට. right? ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ ඔයාලට මගෙන් ඕගොල්ලන්ට මගෙන් ඉගෙන ගන්න පුරුවන් දේවල් වෙන කාගෙන්වත් ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ කියලා මම කියන්නේ ඒකයි. right? මේක වැරදියට තේරුම් ගන්න එපා. right? දැන් එතකොට ඔයා දැන් කම්පැනි එකෙන්මයි මේක කයවත් නෙමෙයි පිරමල් ග්ලාස් එකේ. පිරමල් ග්ලාස් මිස්ටර් සංජය ගුප්තා තමයි හිටියේ ලංකාවේ CEO එතකොට. right? පිරමල් ග්ලාස් එකේ කේස් එක. ලංකාවේ මීට කලින් දුන්නේ එහෙම යවුවාම අර ඇමරිකාවේ ලැබුපු වැටුපට තමයි. හැබැයි එතකොට කම්පැනියෙන් යවුවා කිව්වට දැන් මෙතන කේස් එක ඊට වඩා වෙනස්නේ. කම්පැනියෙන් යවලා right ඇමරිකාවට යවනකොට ඇමරිකාවේ ජීවත් වෙන්න තමයි ඒ consolidated salary එක දෙන්නේ. ඒකේ basic එකයි living allowance ඔක්කොම තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක එයා ලංකාවේ සේවය කරනවට කරන ගෙවීමක් නෙමෙයි. ඒකයි ග්‍රැටිවිටි එකට ඒක අදාළ කරගන්න බෑ කියලා ජස්ටිස් සීවා වනසුන්දර කියන්නේ. හරිද? ඒක හරි. මොකද ඔයා එහෙට යනකොට එහෙ ගෙවන්නේ එහෙ ජීවත් වෙන්න cost of living එකට සැලරියක්. ඒකට හාම්පුතාට වන්දි ගෙවන්න දඬුවම් දෙන්න බෑ. හරිද? හැබැයි ඔයා එහෙ ගිහිල්ලා වැඩ කරලා ලංකාවට ඇවිල්ලා වෙන පොසිෂන් එකක් බාරගත්තා නම් එතකොට ඒ බාරගත්තාම ගෙවන වැටුප තමයි ලාස්ට් ලෝන් සැලරි කියන්නේ. හරිද? කවුද මේක අහන්නේ නිසා කවුද මට මතක නැහැ. කවුද? සුරේෂ්. මොකද්ද කියන්නකෝ තව මට පැහැදිලි නෑ ඔයාගේ ක්වෙස්චන් එක.
මම අහන්නේ දැන් හරි ඒක ලාස්ට් ලෝන් සැලරි එක සම්බන්ධ ප්‍රශ්නේ හරි. නමුත් කම්පැනි ඉන්නේ එයාව එහෙට යවුවේ එතකොට ඒ කරපු අවුරුදු දෙක අන්තිමේටම ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක කැල්කියුලේට් කරද්දි සර්විස් එකට අවුරුදු දෙක එකතු කරනවාද කියන එක.
මෙහෙමයි. ඒක සර්විස් එකට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම එකතු වෙනවා. අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම සර්විස් එකට අවුරුදු දෙක නෙමෙයි 5ක් හිටියත් එකතු වෙනවා. මෙතන ක්වෙස්චන් එක තියෙන්නේ ලාස්ට් නෝන් සැලරි එක කියන එක විතරයි.
හරි සර්.
හරි. ලාස්ට් නෝන් සැලරි කියන්නේ දැන් ඇමරිකාවට ඔයා ගියාම ඔයා ජීවත් වෙන වටපිටාව ලංකාවේ නීති පද්ධතියෙන් ආවරණය වෙන වටපිටාවක් නෙමෙයි. It's a different legal entity. ඒකයි ජස්ටිස් වනසුන්දර කියන්නේ. හරි. හැබැයි as you have been posted by your company, your service cannot be, the number of years of service cannot be declined.
Yes.
හරි. ඒක අඩු කරන්න බෑ. පැහැදිලිද?
Yes sir.
right. දැන් හිතන්නකෝ දැන් මේවා Mame ugulunde kiyanne. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is, try to get the knowledge. I'm not just giving you, what is, stipulated there in the statutes, right? I'm trying to share my experience with you. It is up to you to raise questions and get the knowledge, right? So sometimes, people may think that, I'm overemphasizing, but yes, I'm overemphasizing. I'm the one who has thorough knowledge in level in Sri Lanka so far. Right? I know this, everything, right? The practical situation. Okay, forget about all these things. If you need to know the very precise answer, please raise the question. I just pose my question and ask you to, right, answer the gratitude. And then let me, right? Okay, let me go through, right? This is, the collective bargain definition as per the ILO convention, right? I'm not going to discuss, in detail, right, these things. And the national level social dialogue forum. What is that? Okay. Economic and Social Council. High level advisory bodies attached to Ministry of Labor. You can go through this one. In Sri Lanka, sorry, here, Sri Lanka, we have, so what do you call this, National Labor Advisory Council, right? And we have some, what do you call, the global experience as well, right? Just go through that one. Sri Lankan experience, I'm just talking about National Labor Advisory Council. The National Labor Advisory, NLAC, is the National Labor Advisory Council, is the national tripartite consultative mechanism established to provide for consultation and cooperation between the government and organization of workers and the employers at the national level on matters relating to social and labor policies and implementation of labor standards. Okay. Functions of NLAC shall be, these are the functions, you can read it. And the composition, Minister of Labor, the chairman, right? And the secretary is the senior assistant secretary of the Ministry of Labor, right? I was the secretary starting from 2010 to 2017. 2017, sorry, until from 2010, December of 2010 to 9th of May 2017, right? I was the secretary, right? 9th of May 2017, I got the, the appointment as the Commissioner General of Labor, right? So up to that, the more than 7 years, I was serving as the secretary to the National Labor Advisory Council. The minister is the chairman and the senior assistant secretary of the Ministry of Labor. Foreign Relations is the chairman. I was the the secretary. I was the secretary. Right. So they discuss labor related matters and, right, labor related, the policy matters. Okay. Let me share with you some other experience that I have. Okay. Okay, right. The private sector people, right? Let me ask who was in the private sector, right? It is very easy for me to get, yeah, Suresh. You are in the, private sector, no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So assume that you will retire tomorrow from the from your organization, and you get gratuity and everything. And sorry, from today onwards, you just retire, you get gratuity and everything, EPF, everything. And from tomorrow onwards, you will join the same company for a consolidated salary. Say that, assumes that, Suresh, your last drawn salary when you retire today, the basic salary was basic plus cost of living, and which is applicable for gratuity, was say 100,000. Say 100,000, right? But then you get gratuity for 100,000, and from tomorrow onwards, you will join the same company for consolidated salary, which is 150,000. It's a consolidated salary. No any other allowances or nothing else, but consolidated salary. 150,000, sorry. Okay. And then for 1 year contract, and then the second year will be extended, third year will be extended, and fourth year and fifth year. Company will be extending your service. But the salary is same, consolidated, 150,000. After 5 years, the completion of 5 years, Suresh, you have right to ask your company, so recalculate my gratuity, because my last drawn salary now is 150,000. But you calculate my salary for 100,000 gratuity. My service, there was no service break in, right, with regard to my service, because you retire, and from tomorrow onwards, you were there in the company for another 5 years. These type of arguments are happening. These are my practical, the real life examples. You argue that now your salary is 1,500, but your gratuity was calculated for 100,000. There was no service break. You retired today, and from tomorrow onwards, physically you were there in the company. Then you ask the company, calculate my gratuity. Okay, from today, right, up to today, you have worked 20 years, say. So you get your gratuity, you will get your gratuity for 20 years. And then from tomorrow onwards, you will work for another 5 years. You will ask, no, my calculator should be calculated for 25 years, right? Considering the basic is 150,000, not 100,000. 150,000, and deduct the amount that the company offered to you, and pay the rest. That is your argument. It is happening, right? I'm delivering lectures, some other organization like CIPM as well. CIPM, the one CEO came to me when I was the Commissioner General of Labor and arguing with me on that.
So, excuse me.
Yes.
එතනදී එතකොට මේ සර්විස් ගැප් එකේ මිනිමම් එකක් තියෙනවද මේ මෙච්චර කාලයක් සර්විස් ගැප් එක තියන්න ඕනේ කියලා සෙකන්ඩ් ජොයින්
නෑ මේක නෑ පොඩ ඉඳුක මට කියන්න දෙන එක සර්විස් ගැප් එකක් නෑ. දැන් එතකොට මම මේක සිංහලෙන් කියන්නම්කෝ හැමෝටම තේරෙන විදිහට. දැන් එහෙම වුණාම මෙතෙන්දී තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි ඔයාගේ තර්කය හරි. ඔයාගේ සර්විස් එක කැඩිලා නැහැ. සර්විස් එක කැඩිලා නැහැ. ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක හැදුවේ ලක්ෂයකට. හැබැයි ලාස්ට් ඩ්‍රෝන් සර්විස් එක කැඩිලා නැත්නම් තව අවුරුදු 5ක් ගියා නම් දැන් කොන්සොලිඩේටඩ් සැලරි එක ලක්ෂ එකමාරයි. ලක්ෂ එකමාරක සැලරි එක ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක හදපන්. හදලා ගෙවු ගාන අඩු කරලා ඉතුරු ටික මට දීපන් කියලා ඔයාගේ තර්කය හරි. ඔයාගේ තර්කය හරි කියලා ලේබර් ඩිපාර්ට්මන්ට් එකයි ඊට පස්සේ කෝට් ඔෆ් අපීල් එකයි දෙකම ඩිසිෂන් දීලා තියෙනවා. දෙකම ඩිසිෂන් දීලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි 2016 Brown and Company versus Commissioner General of Labor නඩු තීන්දුවේදී ජස්ටිස් සීව වනසුන්දර පට්ට ඩිසිෂන් එකක් දුන්නා. මේක කන පිට ගහන ඩිසිෂන් එකක් දුන්නා. මොකක්ද දුන්නේ දන්නවද? දුන්නේ ඔයා අද සර්විස් එක බ්‍රේක් කරලා ඔයා අද ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක ගත්තා නම් එතනින් ඔයාගේ සර්විස් එක බ්‍රේක් වෙනවා. මොකද ග්‍රැටිවිටි පනතේ තියෙනවා කොන්දේසි 3ක්. There are 3 conditions to be satisfied for the entitlement of gratuity. One is cessation of employment. Employment එක අවසාන වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක රිටයර්මන්ට් එකක් හරි ටර්මිනේෂන් එකක් හරි රෙසිග්නේෂන් එකක් හරි contract of employment එක අවසන් වෙන්න. වැදගත් එක. එතකොට right, when you accept your gratuity, that means you have accepted the termination of contract of employment. Yes, you have worked from tomorrow onwards. That is true. But that is separate contract of employment. එතකොට ඔයාට ඉතුරු අවුරුදු 5ට 1,50,000 ගානේ අවුරුදු 5ට ගැටිවිටි හදන්න ඕනේ. ඒක පිළිබඳ ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. හැබැයි මුළු අවුරුදු 25ටම 1,50,000ට හදන්න බෑ. මොකද අවුරුදු 20කින් ඔයා ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක ගත්තා කියන්නේම ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක ඇක්සෙප්ට් කරා කියන්නේම කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එක බ්‍රීච් කරා කියන එක. පැහැදිලි සුරේෂ්?
ඔව් සර් පැහැදිලි.
එතකොට ඔයාට ඉතුරු අවුරුදු 5ට 1,50,000 ගානේ අවුරුදු 5ට ග්‍රැටිවිටි එක තියෙනවා. ඒක වළක්වන්න කාටවත් බෑ. හැබැයි ඔයාට කියන්න බෑ මගේ සර්විස් එක බ්‍රේක් වුණේ නැහැ අවුරුදු 25ටම 1,50,000 ගානේ හදලා මට ඉතුරු එක ගෙවන්න කියලා කියන්න බෑ. කලින් එහෙම කිව්වා. කලින් එහෙම ගෙව්වා. right? කලින් එහෙම මොකේද මේ කෝට් ඔෆ් අපීල් ඩිසිෂන් වල දුන්නා. හැබැයි ඔය 2016 ඊව මනසුන්දර ජස්ටිස් චීෆ් ජස්ටිස් දීපු තීන්දුවත් එක්ක කන්න පිට හැරෙන තීන්දුවක් දුන්නේ කන පැලන තීන්දුවක්. කිව්වා මොකද්ද? මේකෙදි බලන්න ඕනේ mental element එකයි physical element එකයි දෙකම. Right? It should be considered physical element as well as mental element. According to physical element, you have been there in the company forever until 25 years. Physical element is satisfied, but mental element is not satisfied because you have accepted your gratuity after 20 years of serving. This is an example, right? Meaning that when you accept gratuity, if you accept gratuity and taken your gratuity, it means that you have accepted the termination of contract of employment. From tomorrow onwards, you have worked with the same company, but that is separate contract of employment. That is what Justice Iva Manasudra, Chief Justice Iva Manasudra says. Is it clear?
yes sir clear.
එතකොට so this, the law, I'm teaching you the labor law, industrial law. So we can't forget the court decisions. This is not textbook. I'm really happy if I can teach HRDA or HRM because, I just copy the textbook, right? And what textbook says, translate into Sinhala or English, right? And prepare notes and deliver. No one will argue. No one can argue. But labor law, if I give right? If I tell anything wrong, everybody will argue who knows the subject, because law is law. You and me cannot change it. It is there in the law. Okay? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, right, listen to my presentation and try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, now, right, I have just finished my presentation. My next presentation is, this is almost finished. And my next presentation is, yeah, where is it? Let me share this one. Yes. Yeah, my next presentation. Sorry, 1 minute. Yeah, employment relationship, contract of employment and workman test. Take note. Take your note. This is the the third session, third and fourth session. Employment relationship. Put a dash. Contract of employment. Contract of employment. Within bracket, workman test. Angelina, is it clear? Angelina Jolie, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm trying to tell you people is, if there is no employment relationship or contract of employment, we cannot apply labor law. We cannot apply labor law. In order to apply labor law, how many labor laws? How many labor laws altogether? Can somebody tell me? Harsani, how many labor laws do we have? Sachini Pereira, the Mohammed, Harsani, how many labor laws? How many labor laws? Approximate? More than 50. Of which 16 are more important. Kavisa, is clear. There are more than 50 labor legislations, but we are discussing around 16, okay, which are very important, right, in handling employment relationship. Nisansala, is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Right. Then, so, employment relationship means, understand, if there is no employer-employee relationship, we can't apply labor law, right? In order to apply employment law or labor law, we need to have an employer-employee relationship. Then my next my approach is now to give you the knowledge on how to understand, how to, how to understand employer-employee relationship or contract of employment. Because in Sri Lanka, contract of employment may be in writing or may not. It may be in oral, right? If you have appointment letter, it is very clear that it is a written contract of employment. But in Sri Lanka, there is no requirement, right, to have written contract of employment. According to Soprano Peace Employees Act, appointment letter must be granted. But according to Wages Board's ordinance, there is no such requirement. If there is an appointment letter, yes, we can understand, this is the contract of employment written document. But according to Wages Board's ordinance, there is no such requirement. It may be oral. So in such situation, how do we understand, right, the employer-employee relationship? Right? That is what we are going to discuss, right, in this session. So take your note. This topic is session. This should be session 4, not 3, because I'm going to stop right now. Session 4, employment relationship. Stroke or put a dash. Contract of employment. Ladies and gentlemen, right? If there is no written contract of employment, again appointment letter එකක් නැත්තම් සේවක සේවී සම්බන්ධතාවයක් තියෙනවද කියලා බලන්න අපි විවිධ උපක්‍රම භාවිතා කරනවා. Right? What we call it is workman test, control test, integration test, economic reality text, mixed text. මේ වගේ text 4ක් අපි කරනවා. In order to understand whether there is an employer-employee relationship. If there is an employer-employee relationship, right, with the investigation of this, using this test, then right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wind up this session. We have 20 minutes more, but before I go to move to this one, I would like to raise questions from your side with regard to my previous presentation. Right. If you have any clarification or questions, you are free to raise. Johan, is it clear? යකෝ උඹලා මොකෙක්වත් කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ. Sachini Pereira, is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Suresh, I think, I hope it's clear to you.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Arosh, Mohammed, Arsani, Nisansala. No, මේගොල්ලෝ මේකේ නෑ මේ ඔන් කරලා වෙන වැඩ. Okay. බුදු සරණයි දේවි පීඨා විභාගෙදී
සර් තව එක පුංචි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා අහන්නද?
කියන්න අහන්න.
සර් දැන් අපි ආයතනයේ වැඩ කරන සේවකයෙක් අපි හිතමුකෝ අපි අවුරුදු 55න් එයා රිටයර් වෙනවානේ. රිටයර් වුණාට පස්සේ
55න් නෙමෙයි දැන් රිටයර් දැන් පනතක් ගෙනල්ලා තියෙනවා 60 වෙනකන් අයින් කරන්න බෑ. කැමති නම් 55න් යන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඊට කලින් 60. ඔව්.
මං කියන්නේ මේ පනතට කලින් කෙනෙක් ගත්තොත් එයා 55න් රිටයර් වෙලා එයාගේ EPF withdraw කරන්න යනකොට අපි යා 55න් අද ඉඳලා රිටයර් වුණත් අපි යාව හෙට ඉඳලා අලුත් EPF නම්බර් එකට ගන්නවා.
ඔව්.
අරගෙන කියන්නේ 1 month යන්න කලින් එයා EPF withdraw කරේ නැත්තම් එතකොට අලුත් EPF නම්බරයට EPF අපි remit කරොත් එතකොට එයාට පරණ EPF නම්බරයට EPF withdraw කරන්න බැරිද සර්?
බෑ. මොකද දන්නවද? මෙහෙමයි. අලුත් EPF නම්බර් එකකින් ගියත් ඕක අහු වෙනවා. නමෙන් මේ අලුත් EPN නම්බර් එකකින් ගියොත් අහු නොවෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. නමුත් ගියාට පස්සේ දැන් ඕක මෙහෙමයි වෙන්නේ. ඇත්තටම කිව්වොත් සුරේෂ් නේද මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ අහන්නේ? සුරේෂ්.
ඔව් සර්.
සුරේෂ් ඇත්තටම හරියටම අහු වෙන්නේ පරණ EPF නම්බර් එකම ගියොත්. හරිද? මොකද පරණ EPF නම්බර් එක දැන් අද හිතන්නකෝ එයා රිටයර් වෙනවා. හරිද? රිටයර් වෙලා ඔයා EPF එකක් ගන්න ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක පුරවලා ඔක්කොම දානවා. හිත ඉඳලා ඔයා වැඩට යනවා. ගිහිල්ලා ඔයාගේ පරණ නම්බර් එකටම අද ඉඳලා කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කෙරුවොත් ඔයා ඩෙෆිනිට්ලි කෝට් ඔයාට ගන්න බෑ. හරිද? ඔයාට ගන්න බෑ. ඔයා දන්නවද එහෙම සේවක අර්ථ සාධක අරමුදලේ කෙනෙක් එහෙම EPF එකේ කෙනෙක්ගෙන් එක හොරට අරගෙන රයිට් මම ඒක ඉන්වෙස්ටිගේෂන් කරා. රයිට් අද වෙනකොට නඩුවක් යනවා ඒකට. හරිද? එහෙම පරණ නම්බර් එකෙම ගියොත් අතේ මාට්ටු. ආයි ඒක නම් කරන්න බෑ කීයට. ඔයාට EPF එක ගන්න ඕන නම් කරන්න ඕනේ. හිතන්නකෝ X කියන කම්පැනි එකේ වැඩ කරනවා. අද ඔයා රිටයර් වෙලා EPF ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක බාර දෙනවා. මං කියන්නම් කරන්න ඕන වැඩේ. මාස 3ක් යනකම් EPF අලුත් නම්බර් එකෙන් කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරන්න එපා කියන්න.
ඔව් සර්.
හරිද? මාස 3ක් යනකම්. දන්නවා ඇති ප්‍රයිවට් සෙක්ටර් එකේ ඉන්න හැටියට මැයි මාසේ EPF කන්ට්‍රිබියුෂන් එක අප්‍රේල් මාසේ 30 වෙනිදාට කලින් යවන්න ඕනේ. සෝරි මේ ජූනි මාසේ 30 වෙනිදාට කලින් යවන්න ඕනේ. රයිට් ජූනි මාසේ EPF කන්ට්‍රිබියුෂන් එක ජූලි 31කට කලින් යවන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට මාසයක් බ්ලොක් වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයාගේ ගිය බව දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අප්‍රේල් මාසේ ඔයා රිටයර් වෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මාර්තු 1 වෙනිදා මැයි 1 වෙනිදා ඉඳලා ඔයා ජොයින් වෙනවා. හැබැයි මාර්තු මාසේ EPF එක ගෙවන්න හොඳ නැහැ. හරිද? ජූනි එකත් ගෙවන්න හොඳ නැහැ. එතකොට සිස්ටම් එකේ පෙන්නනවා රයිට් ඔයාගේ එක මාසයක කන්ට්‍රිබියුෂන් එන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. හරිද? එතකොට ඔයා ඒ අතරේ ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එක බාර දුන්නාම ඔයාට ප්‍රූෆ් එකක් තියෙනවා මං අස්සුනා කියන එක. පැහැදිලිද? එතකොට ප්‍රූෆ් එකක් තියෙනවා අස්සුනා කියන එක. එතකොට ඒක ප්‍රොසෙස් කරනවා. හරිද? හැබැයි ඔයා හිත ඉඳලාම EPF එක කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරන්න ගියොත් වෙන අලුත් නම්බර් එකට කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කළා වුණත් එකම ආයතනයේ නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා. හැබැයි අලුත් නම්බර් එකකින් කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරුවොත් ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් එන්නේ නැහැ. මම ඔයාලට කියන එක තේරෙනවද? මොකද අලුත් නම්බර් එකකින් කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරොත් ඔයා අලුත් සේවකයෙක් හැටියට යන්නේ. එතකොට පරණ සේවය අවසන්. එතකොට ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නේ මතුවෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම. අලුත් සේවකයෙක් හැටියට ඔයා කන්ට්‍රිබියුට් කරත් ඔයා වෙන තැනක වැඩ කරනවානේ. එතකොට ඒකෙන් ගම්ම වෙන දේ තමයි you are working in other company. එතකොට if you are working right you can't withdraw your EPF. So පැහැදිලිද කියන්නේ?
Yes sir, I got your point.
එතකොට වෙන නම්බර් එකකින් ගියා. ඔයාට ඒක ගන්න බෑ. ගන්න බැරි because you are still working. එනිසා my advice is break, okay, you continue work but break EPF for at least 3 months until you get your EPF.
Okay sir, thank you.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
So any question for anyone else? Any other person? If not, we have 10 minutes more. Then let me tell you good night for everyone because you are not raising questions. Okay, good night for everyone.
Good night, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, good night.